Welcome. We are visiting to consolidate the values of Vedic mathematics we have reached. In this session, we want to focus upon as to what precisely is to be the outline of the course of Vedic mathematics to be introduced at high and higher secondary classes level. These 4 years schooling requires 4 years integrated course. This integrated course is to cover the Vedic vision of our existence phenomenon. This course shall provide proper base for the mental state to be parallel with the values of the existence phenomenon, to have proper initiation and to have appropriate base for the intelligence field to be parallel with the values of the existence phenomenon of our solar universe, including existence within human frame. We have to be parallel with the way Trimurti is sustaining Triloki. Therefore, this 4 years integrated course is being designated as a course parallel with the values of Triloki and Trimurti. This course, as 4 years integrated course, is to cover sequentially the specific distinctive values of 3 space, 4 space, 5 space, and 6 space. Let us have a pause. We are visiting to consolidate the values of Vedic mathematics we could reach up till this point of time. These values, as a 4 years course, is being designated as of the values of Triloki and Trimurti. This 4 years integrated course for high and higher secondary classes is to be specifically of distinctive values arranged in a sequential order as 3 space values, 4 space values, 5 space values, and 6 space values. Parallel with this, the Sutras and Upsutras as well are to be phased for their exhaustive coverage. And this, as per the inner organization of these Sutras and Upsutras, makes them phased as Sutras 1 to 4 and Upsutras 1 to 4 for the first year, Sutras 5 to 8 and Upsutras 5 to 7 for the second year, Sutras 9 to 12 and Upsutras 8 to 10 for the third year, and Sutras 13 to 16 and Upsutras 11 to 13 for the fourth year. Class 9 is to cover Triloki as Vishwarup as 3 space, and also have to approach the mathematical base of sciences and technologies in terms of the values of Sutras 1 to 4 and Upsutras 1 to 4. Class 10 is to be of mental state which will bring us parallel with, which will make our intelligence to be parallel with the spatial order 4 space, the creators of space presided by Lord Brahma, a 4-head Lord. The Sutras basis will be of Sutras 5 to 8 and Upsutras 5 to 7. Class 11 is to focus upon 5 space. It is transcendental space. It is space presided by 5-head Lord Shiv. It is all about 5 space, and the other base values are as are Sutras 9 to 12 and Upsutras 8 to 10. In continuity, in the fourth year, it is going to be a domain to be focused, to be attended, to be absorbed as 6 space, presided by Lord Vishnu, and the Sutras 13 to 16 and Upsutras 11 to 13 will provide the needed values for Vedic sciences and Vedic technologies. This is a 4 years integrated course. It is sequentially organized. It is parallel with the organization of Ganita Sutras 1 to 16 and Ganita Upsutras 1 to 13. It is parallel with the existence phenomenon, the way Trimurti, Brahma, Shiva, and Vishnu, 4 space, 5 and 6 space, is sustaining Vishwarup, 3 space. Therefore, the expected index of the mental state values for those who will be undertaking this course and will be through this course, it will be of values parallel with the needed intelligence, which will be of potentialities to comprehend and to absorb the values of the nature as well as the values of the God in nature. Therefore, the whole range of values of Vedic mathematics as are lively within Ganita Sutras, and whole range of values as are lively within Vedangas, 6 angas as foundational basis-based need for the Vedic domain will be attainable. This is required. It is with the fulfillment of this requirement that we will be hoping that we will be in a position to revive the Vedic literature which has not reached us. We have to begin with Ganita Sutras. Ganita Sutras presume the values of Devanagari alphabet. The text of Ganita Sutras is availing only 36 distinct letters out of the 50 letters of Devanagari. Devanagari Varnamala is a self-sustained format, and of this sustained values, of this values range, the organization of the values of Vedic mathematics are in such a format that the 36 letters being availed and 14 letters being not availed as well make a complementary and supplementary system. Therefore, all what is manifesting as Ganita Sutras and all what is remaining unmanifest at the foundation of this manifested organization of Ganita Sutras are integrated domain. Therefore, each aspect of choice to include in the text and choice not to include in the text as well as mathematical, we have to be parallel with this organization. We have to begin and we have to initiate, we have to proceed, we have to progress the way Ganita Sutras are organizing themselves. Therefore, sadhakas are fulfilled with intensity efforts to be parallel with Vedic systems shall begin with Devanagari alphabet so that proper basis for initiation of the mathematical domain of individual and collective domain of Ganita Sutras and Upsutras is within the vision, insight, comprehension, and enlightenment of the sadhakas. These 36 letters deserve to be approached distinctively, sequentially, one after the other, and all the values of these letters are going to be distinct initiation steps. Therefore, any course of Vedic mathematics of high school and secondary level is to presume the values needed up till class 8. And those values in a way can be taken as the values of the letters, individual letters, collectively of entire range of letters of each and every class of the letters of Devanagari alphabet being within the vision of the sadhakas undertaking this course. This way, we have to have a clear comprehension and clear demarcation and clear fixation of these 36 letters in the Devanagari alphabet. The Devanagari alphabet as a set of different classes of letters is on the computer screen, and the letters which are being availed by the text of Ganita Sutra are being specifically colored distinctively to make it specific and to make it clear and to make it absolutely distinctively for the comprehension of the sadhakas as that which of these letters are being availed for the composition of the text of Ganita Sutras and which of the letters as such are being not availed. Why these are being not availed? As these letters will form the foundation of the Ganita Sutras text itself. And the letters which are being availed are the letters in terms of which the foundational values are to be imbibed as the values of the organization of the text of the Ganita Sutras. Therefore, it is this basic foundational background which is to be of pointed attention. Now, the beginning is to be the way the text begins. The text begins with the first letter of the first sutra. The first letter of the first sutra is A, the sixth vowel. Ekadhikain Purve is the first Ganita Sutra. Ekadhikain is the first word formulation. A is the first letter of this text. As such, the first Ganita Sutra is the first letter, or otherwise the first letter of the text of Ganita Sutras is the sixth vowel. It is of sixth placement in the sequence range of the vowels, and as such, it accepts association of number value 6 being this letter at sixth placement within the array of vowels. Number value 6 as Sthapatya format of Devanagari alphabet takes us to sixth space. We may have a pause here and well point to ourselves as that Devanagari alphabet is a integrated compactified format. The uppermost surface is letters, and beneath it are the numbers, and still beneath the numbers are the sthapatya, the geometric formats. Therefore, the first letter as sixth vowel takes us to number value 6, and then it takes us to sixth space. The sixth space takes us to sixth space content. Sixth space content takes us to sixth space domain. Sixth space domain takes us to sixth space body. It takes us to sixth element. When we may again have a pause here and remind to ourselves that first 5 elements, earth, water, fire, air, and space, are having step ahead the sixth element, that is the Surya, that is the sun. Therefore, this organization of Ganita Sutras, in terms of its very first letter, is taking us to sun, the sixth element, and Surya Ank, the number of the Surya, is 6. Therefore, the approach to the mathematical domain of Ganita Sutras, the mathematical steps, the mathematical logic, the mathematical processes, mathematical vision, and all that which is to be had at its initiation stage is to be taken as is. First letter, the sixth vowel, the number value 6, 6 space content, 6 space content domain, 6 space body, sixth element, Surya, sun, and Surya Ank, the number value of the sun, as 6. We know that 6 is the first perfect number. It is here where we have to remind ourselves that we are entering Vedic mathematics domain. As we are entering Vedic mathematics domain, so we have to handle, we have to absorb, we have to glimpse, we have to process, we have to have operations for the numbers or for the geometric bodies as per the Vedic mathematics of Ganita Sutras itself. Now, there are 16 sutras and there are 13 Upsutras. Now, if we revisit number value 6 as a fixed value of the first digit, then the second and further digits ahead for this organization will take us to from 6 to 16, then 16 to 26, then to 36, 46, and so on. Now, if we are to have a mental state parallel with Vedic mathematics, then we will be parallel with the numbers as values, as transcendental code values. Now, the transcendental code value for Sahastra 1000 is 23. The number value, DC value for the formulation Anant, infinitely infinite, infinite infinities. We are when within the domain of the mathematics of infinities. Infinity as a infinity as a entity, infinity as a unit. So when we will be handling mathematics of infinities as units, then for coverage as Sahastra will amount to that we have to handle numbers values 1 to 1000, and 1000 as formulation Sahastra will lead us to value 23. Therefore, this chase of numbers with first digit as 6 is to be of steps which will take us to the digit or set of digits ahead of the first digit as 6 will be 23. See, it will take us to value 236. This value is the value parallel with the total number of letters of 13 Ganita Upsutras. So when we will be approaching Vedic mathematical domain of Ganita Sutras in terms of its first letter as per value 6, then the organization of the numbers with the first digit as 6, then this will be of 24 steps as 06 to 236 make 24 steps. Now these 24 steps organization is having 23 gaps, and these gaps are of value 10 each from 06 to 16, 16 to 26, and so on. Now, these gaps are to be bridged. This bridging of the gaps is to be of value 10. Value 10 is parallel with the 10 directions. These 10 directions are the exhaustive coverage and fixation of three space bodies. Cube is framed of the limit of 10 directional setup. Therefore, at each phase and stage, we will be having cube as a bridge. So 23 cubes are to be availed for having exhaustive coverage of the mathematical domain of 13 Ganita Upsutras. One may have a pause here, and one shall revisit cube. Cube is a representative regular body of three space. Cube is hypercube 3. The four folds of hypercube 3 are 1 space as dimension, 2 space as boundary, 3 space as domain, and 4 space as origin. The summation value 1, 2, 3, 4 is 10. So see, Vedic mathematics is providing specific geometric format for the artifices of the numbers. It is this feature which is uniquely available in Vedic mathematics, and the same as such is not within the vision comprehension of the modern system, and as such it can be said that modern mind approaching in non-Vedic mathematical way is depriving themselves of the potentialities of the geometric formats available for the artifices of numbers. One may further have a pause here and take note that 3 space plays the role of an origin of a 2 space. Therefore, it is the spatial order of the 4 space. Spatial order of the 4 space is hypercube 4 as a format parallel with the features and values of the idol of Lord Brahma, creator of the supreme, the overhead, overlord, presiding deity of the creators of space. Therefore, this comprehension, this vision, this insight is to be imbibed, acquired, attained, utilized, exploited. Number value 6 and Ganita Sutras are interconnected, so much so that in 24 steps, 4 space has dimension of a 6 space, making a dimensional frame of 6 creative dimensions of 6 space. So number value 6 has 6 space, number value 6 connected with number value 4 as the creative dimensional order of 6 space, and there be 24 artifices making the creative dimensional frame of 6 creative dimensions of a 6 space. These features are the basis-based features with whose comprehension, with whose imbibing, with whose insight one will be ensuring needed appropriate enlightenment for perfection of one's intelligence to be parallel with the processing systems of Vedic mathematics. A step ahead, the number value 6 as the first perfect number is inherently of potentialities to provide needed transition and transformation for a reach at number value 28 is second perfect number. 6 is a Surya Ank. It is a number of a sun. 28 is TC value of Brahm. So the Vedic system is having mathematical base of values of complete exhaustive coverage from first perfect number as basis value of Surya to the second perfect number 28 as basis value of the second perfect number Brahma. Surya to eternity is the attainment reach. And now see, if as per Ganita Sutra 1, Eka Adhikena Purve, a step more than the previous step. So if instead of value 6, when we will be having value 7 as the first digit of the numbers, and if we will reach up till 28 as a digit value or some of the digit values ahead of first digit value, then we will be reaching at value 287, which is the precise value parallel with the total letters of the text of all 16 Ganita Sutras. See, the 07 to 237, 287 or 29 steps. 29 is the TC value of Brahma and 28 is the TC value of Brahm. There are 28 gaps of range of 29 discrete points. This bridging of the creator's domain of Lord Brahma's creation, the mundane creations, is to be as per the eternity value, Brahman value. Let us have a blissful pause. Let us blissfully permit the mind to continuously remain in prolonged sitting of trance and to comprehend and imbibe this feature. It is this value and this feature of number value 6 taking us to Ganita Upsutras as well as to Ganita Sutras. 13 sutras, 13 Upsutras and 16 Upsutras make 29 hymns. It is value 29, which as such emerges to be the organizing value. It is this organization which deserves to be comprehended well. We have to be parallel with it. And one other aspect which pointedly comes to focus is that as we have seen the sequential bridging of gaps as value 10, parallel with 10 directional frame of a cube, the representative regular body of 3 space as hypercube 3 of 4 folds 1, 2, 3, 4 of summation value 10. So we can have a faith with conviction as that this setup, this manifestation of the cube will firstly take us to 8 subcubes, and then each subcube will take to 8 subcubes, making a setup of 64 subcubes. Then each subcube will provide a setup of only 8 structural components. Therefore, the total structural components emerging in the process are going to be 512. And then these 512 when will take us to the 513th subcube, it will of its own have 8 centers. Now, those 8 centers as such are not marking their presence here in 512 cubes. So, these are in manifest as well as in unmanifest form. These are in unmanifest form as these are not becoming the components of structures of these subcubes. However, these are specific and manifest as each cube, subcube and subcube is having its center. Therefore, the 6th Sutra, Anurupe Shunyam Anyat, is having 8 letters in bracket. These 8 letters in bracket are of the format of existence of centers of 8 subcubes of 5/13th subcube around the center of the cube. And then the center of the cube itself is existing, is always in existence. However, this center again is not marking its presence in the organization of split the cube into subcubes and subcubes. So this letter in Subsutra 9 is having its depiction in the form which can be said that it be taken, it is there, but still it also may be taken as it is not there. One shall have a pass. Let us blissfully revisit these features of bridging the gaps in terms of cubes. So our learning, our imbibing of the values of the cube, a 3-space body, are to be parallel with the Vedic approach. Accordingly, the first year course of this 4 years integrated course is focusing upon 3-space. We are talking enough about 3-space, but we are not really realistically absorbing the role of a 3-space. This is to be pointed. This is to be focused. This is to be brought within the comprehension of the young minds. These values are to be fulfilled in the young minds. Young minds are to be matured. The intelligence of the young minds is to be perfected, and the perfection initiative step is to expose them properly for proper insight and appropriate enlightenment about the existence, structures, and role of 3-space, 3-space content, 3-space content domain, 3-space bodies. It is here where the beginning is to be there. This is going to be a beginning of Vedic mathematics. Let us have a pause and let us see how cube, when splits into 8 subcubes, then how the 8 subcubes on their synthesis are bringing us face to face with as to how the first subcube will be having 27 structural components, namely 8 corner points, 12 edges, 6 surfaces, and 1 volume. However, the second subcube will be having contribution only of 18 structural components, as 9 of the components of one of the surface plate its 4 boundary lines and 4 corner points will get superimposed, get merged, go unmanifest. Likewise, the third subcube as well will having 9 unmanifest structures. But when we will reach the fourth subcube, then here are going to be pair of surfaces along with their edges and the corner points going and manifest. And so the contribution will remain only of the 12 structural components. Step ahead, when we will be reaching at the 5th subcube, 6th subcube, 7th subcube, and 8th subcube, we will be blissfully noting that the 8th subcube contribution is only of 8 structural components. Therefore, when we will have a further split for these subcubes into sub-subcubes, and when we will be visiting the innermost sub-subcube as 8th component of the sub-subcubes around the center, then the whole phenomenon of organization will be openly before us, and it will help us comprehend and appreciate the organization of the text of Ganita Sutras and Upsutras, being of 519 letters, of which 8 letters of 6 sutra are within bracket, well indicating these are to be taken as manifest and unmanifest, and likewise 1 letter of the 9th Upsutra, Antiyor Daskeapi, as well will be of such presence. It is in this background, it is this enlightenment with which we have to approach the Ganita Sutras. The first sutra, beginning with the first letter of the 6th vowel, Ekadiken Purve, is having the central formulation. It is Adhik. The formulation Adhik deserves to be comprehended well. Let us sit comfortably and let us permit our mind to be parallel with internal organization of this formulation. On the computer screen, in the first row is the distinctive chase of 5 letters being availed for the composition of Adhik. The second row for the first 3 letters, Adhi, Visargaha, is of value 172, making it 10. It will help us appreciate Adhika. Ka is to be taken as 10. Ka as Brahma. Brahma multiplying as 10 Brahmas. And when the 5th letter will follow in chase, it will take us from Ka Brahma to Ka Shiv. As such, it will also help us appreciate as to why, while we are chasing the formulation Ekadikain, then the reason and basis base for association of value TC value 4 for letter Ka instead of 1 is as it in a composed form as a formulation as Ekadikain is in fact is of the phase and stage of Ka Brahma. Like that, each and every formulation, each and every sub-formulation of each and every sutra, each and every sutra is a reservoir of different ranges of values. These mathematical domains are inward unfolding mathematical domains, domains within domains. So this mathematical domain of Ganita Sutras of 519 letters, in fact, will bring us face to face with as many as 519 branches of mathematics. Therefore, we, the sadhakas, fulfilled with intensity forge to be parallel with the Vedic mathematics, shall initiate properly and be through this 4 years integrated course so that the mental states, because of linear order, spatial order, and solid order, melt away, and we are of the mental state of a creative order so that we can have the needed initiation for transition and transformation from first perfect number 6 to the second perfect number 28. We will that way be on the transcendental pilgrimage of a reach from Surya to Brahma. Thank you very much.